Remember those long, sweltering summer days when the NBA offseason felt like a desert, devoid of any significant movement? You'd check your phone, refresh your feeds, only to be met with silence. But what if that agonizing wait, that collective holding of breath, was finally shattered by a single seismic domino falling, triggering a chain reaction that could reshape the futures of two prominent young stars and their respective franchises? For months, the league seemed stuck in a strange, almost unsettling stasis, particularly for a handful of high-profile restricted free agents. Now, however, the silence has been broken, and the reverberations are already being felt from the Windy City to the Bay Area. Welcome, basketball fanatics, to a story that's less about individual brilliance and more about the intricate, often frustrating, dance of the NBA's restricted free agency market. I'm your host, and today we're dissecting a move that isn't just a win for one team, but a potential unlock for another, a strategic ripple effect that could finally inject some much-needed dynamism into a stagnant summer. This is the tale of Josh Giddey, Jonathan Kuminga, the Chicago Bulls, and the Golden State Warriors, a narrative woven with patience, negotiation, and the sudden, exhilarating promise of resolution. If you've been on the edge of your seat, waiting for the offseason to truly ignite, then prepare yourselves. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive into how the Chicago Bulls' signing of Josh Giddey could be the unexpected catalyst for another restricted free agent's long-awaited deal. The Chicago Bulls entered this summer with a clear, albeit challenging mandate: change. After being unceremoniously bounced from the play-in tournament for the third consecutive year, the franchise and its long-suffering fan base were desperate for a new direction, a fresh spark. Whispers of a potential rebuild, or at least a significant retooling, had grown louder with each passing loss. Yet, for much of the offseason, the Bulls found themselves in a peculiar holding pattern, their plans seemingly tethered to the uncertain fate of a single restricted free agent, Josh Giddey. Giddey, the talented Australian point guard, had been at the center of attention for weeks, his future a swirling vortex of speculation. Restricted free agency, by its very nature, can be a prolonged, agonizing process, often leaving both the player and the interested teams in limbo. Teams are hesitant to extend offer sheets knowing the original team can match, and the original team often plays a waiting game, hoping to secure their player at a more favorable price. This summer, that dynamic seemed to be amplified, with a noticeable reluctance across the league to make aggressive moves for restricted free agents. Giddey's situation became a prime example of this market paralysis, effectively holding up Chicago's broader offseason ambitions. But then the dam broke. The Bulls, in a move that finally ended the protracted saga, agreed to a 4-year, $100 million deal with Giddey. This wasn't just a significant financial commitment, it was a statement. It signaled Chicago's belief in Giddey's potential, his unique blend of size, passing vision, and developing scoring ability. More importantly, it provided a definitive resolution, allowing the Bulls to finally move forward with their roster construction. While Giddey had reportedly been seeking a deal closer to $30 million per year, the $25 million annual average represented a compromise, a common outcome in the restricted free agency landscape, where players often have to balance their desired valuation with the reality of the market. This agreement, however, was far more than just a transaction for the Bulls. It was a signal flare, a beacon of movement in an otherwise static market. As the news of Giddey's extension reverberated across the league, attention quickly pivoted to another high-profile, restricted free agent who had been caught in a similar state of limbo, Jonathan Kuminga of the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors, much like the Bulls, had endured a summer marked by a cautious approach, their own plans seemingly on pause as they navigated Kuminga's contract situation. Kuminga, a dynamic wing with immense athletic potential and flashes of offensive brilliance, represents a crucial piece for a Warriors team looking to bridge the gap between its aging veteran core and its next generation of talent. His future, much like Giddey's, had become a defining question mark for his franchise. It's in this context that the Giddey deal becomes a powerful catalyst. Fansided's Peter O'Keefe, a keen observer of the league's machinations, quickly highlighted the interconnectedness of these situations. O'Keefe urged the Warriors to take a page from Chicago's book, to compromise with Kuminga, and offer him a full guarantee on the 2-year, $45 million deal that has reportedly been on the table. The logic is compelling. If Giddey, a player with a similar profile in terms of age, potential, and the restricted free agency tag, was willing to settle for less than his initial demand, then Kuminga might also be amenable to a deal that, while not a max contract, offers significant financial security and a clear path forward. The catalyst effect here is multifaceted. Firstly, Giddey's deal sets a tangible market precedent. While every player's situation is unique, the general reluctance of teams to extend massive offer sheets to restricted free agents this summer created a bottleneck. Giddey's $25 million per year provides a benchmark, a data point that both Kuminga's camp and the Warriors can use in their negotiations. It suggests that for talented young players who aren't quite in the max contract tier, a compromise in the mid-$20 million range annually might be the realistic outcome. Secondly, it injects a sense of urgency. The Bulls, by acting decisively, have shown that these situations can, and eventually will, be resolved. This puts pressure on the Warriors to avoid a protracted negotiation that could drag into training camp, creating unnecessary distractions and potentially souring the relationship with a key young player. Securing Kuminga, even if it means guaranteeing the full $45 million over 2 years, would allow the Warriors to solidify their roster, focus on team chemistry, and move forward with their strategic planning for the upcoming season. For a team that relies heavily on continuity and a strong locker room culture, this certainty is invaluable. For the Bulls, the acquisition of Josh Giddey is a fascinating strategic pivot. Giddey brings elite playmaking, especially in transition, and a unique ability to rebound for his position. His size allows him to see over defenses, creating opportunities for teammates, and his developing three-point shot fits perfectly into the modern NBA's offensive schemes. While his defense remains a work in progress, his offensive upside and potential to be a primary ball handler are undeniable. This move signals a commitment to a more modern, dynamic style of play, moving away from the stagnant, isolation-heavy offense that plagued them in recent years. It's a clear step towards kickstarting the rebuild by acquiring a high-upside young talent who can grow with their existing young core. For the Warriors, retaining Jonathan Kuminga is equally critical. Kuminga's explosive athleticism, defensive versatility, and improving offensive game make him an indispensable asset. As Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green continue to age, Kuminga represents the future, a bridge to the next era of Warriors basketball. His ability to guard multiple positions, attack the rim, and hit timely shots is vital for a team that thrives on versatility and collective effort. A fully guaranteed 2-year, $45 million deal, while a significant investment, would demonstrate the Warriors' faith in his development and secure a key piece for their championship aspirations, both immediate and long-term. It would also prevent the nightmare scenario of losing a valuable young asset for nothing, a mistake no contending team can afford. Beyond the strategic implications for the teams, there's a profound human element at play for both Giddey and Kuminga. The mental strain of restricted free agency, the uncertainty, the constant speculation, can be incredibly taxing. For Giddey, the relief of finally having a long-term deal, of knowing where he'll be for the next 4 years, must be immense. It allows him to focus solely on his game, on developing his skills, and on helping the Bulls compete. For Kuminga, a resolution would offer similar liberation. It would allow him to enter training camp with a clear mind, free from the distractions of contract talks, and fully committed to contributing to the Warriors' pursuit of another title. The Chicago Bulls' decision to sign Josh Giddey to a substantial long-term deal is far more than just a single transaction. It's a pivotal moment that has sent a clear message across the league. The restricted free agency market, after a prolonged period of inactivity, is finally showing signs of life. By making a decisive move, the Bulls have inadvertently created a blueprint, a catalyst for other teams to follow suit. The pressure is now squarely on the Golden State Warriors to make a similar compromise with Jonathan Kuminga to secure their future and to finally put an end to the offseason's most lingering questions. This isn't just about two players or two teams. It's about the intricate dance of the NBA, where one domino, however seemingly isolated, can trigger a cascade of events that reshapes the entire landscape. So, what are your predictions, basketball faithful? Do you believe Giddey's deal will indeed be the push the Warriors need to finalize Kuminga's contract? What does this mean for the Bulls' immediate future? And how will Kuminga's potential deal impact the Warriors' championship window? Share your passionate opinions, your strategic insights, and your hopes for these exciting young talents in the comment section below. We want to hear every single thought as the NBA offseason finally kicks into high gear. And if this deep dive into the interconnected world of restricted free agency has given you a clearer picture of what's at stake, make sure to hit that like button, share this report with every fellow fan, and subscribe to our channel for all the crucial insights and breaking news that define your favorite teams. Let's keep this conversation going because the dominoes are finally falling, and the NBA is about to get very interesting.